everyone, my name is Jamie Rayner, and in about 10-ish weeks by the time this video goes out, my husband Trey and I will be having a baby. So today we're going to talk about family. What a perfect assignment that I have received for this topic. Right now we're preparing the nursery and thinking about a healthy delivery and all the things that come with that. And we really want to give our baby everything that she needs to have a healthy life. A lot of people have a lot of suggestions and opinions, and most of the time it's very helpful, sometimes not so helpful. But there's one instruction that we can take from Ephesians 6:1-4 that kind of sums everything up really well. So let's look at that. It says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise, that it may go well with you and that you may live long in the land. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord." So we can kind of break these 4 verses up into 2 different sections. The first is for children. This is everybody. We're all children of somebody. And then the second section is for parents, for fathers and mothers. So starting with the children, there's 2 points here that we can pull from the scripture. The first one is obedience. So it says, obey your parents, for this is the right thing to do. So this is true. We have different stages of life of people who are watching this video. So speaking first to those who may be still living in your parents' household. If you're living in your parents' household, whether you're 18 or older, it's important to be obedient, to be respectful to them, and do as you're instructed unless it goes against what the Bible is saying. The second part is, as adults, if we're out on our own, it is different when we obey our parents. They may not be telling us to tie our shoes or clean our room or those kinds of things, but it could look like acts of service. Maybe you go to your parents' house for dinner and you do the dishes. You do something kind for them that's respectful. Obedience and acts of service are really a direct way to honor your parents. The second part is honor your father and mother. Being respectful to their face is of course important, but it's also important to be respectful behind their back as well. So we don't want to just be respectful when I'm talking to them, but I want to speak well of my parents. I want to talk highly of them, to encourage them, even if I don't feel like they always deserve it. I don't feel like they deserve my respect. I still need to treat them as such so that I can obey this commandment from the Lord. So the next part is for fathers and mothers, for parents. And this, you may be watching this video and maybe you're thinking, hey, I don't have any kids. That's okay. You might have spiritual children, and this is just as important for biological parents as it is for spiritual parents. So the first point on this scripture is, do not provoke your children to anger. This means don't be mean-spirited towards your kid, right? Don't egg them on if they're having a bad day. Don't discourage them, but be uplifting. I had a parent figure in my life for quite a few years who was very critical, very mean. They were not obeying the scripture. Don't be like them. Be encouraging, be uplifting, and really promote that peace in your child versus that anger. The second point is bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. This means making things of the Lord a priority. So this could be Sunday services. This could be making sure your child gets to youth group. This could be devotional time as a family, maybe a couple times a month even. It doesn't have to be every day. That's pretty unrealistic for most people. But a couple times a month, sit down and pray as a family, touch base spiritually as a family. This is also setting an example in your own life. What does your discipline and instruction look like when it comes to your faith? Are you being a good role model for them? Not that you're going to be perfect. None of us are perfect. But are you being a good role model for them in your own faith and demonstrating the priorities of the Lord for them? So again, all of this is true. Spiritual children, biological children, spiritual parents, biological parents. It's true for all of us. So even if maybe you don't fit into one of those categories, you fit into another one. And so think about how that will impact you in your own day-to-day life. And ultimately, everyone has a different parenting style and way that they were raised. This is not that. This is saying, hey, this is the commandment that God gave us for parents and for children. And if we are to be obedient, then the scripture promises us that we'll have a long life and that we'll have favor, that it will go well with us. So these are definitely things that we want to make sure that we're thinking about. So my challenge to you today, you can pick. You can, if you're a spiritual or biological child, you can think about, how can I honor or obey my parents this week? If you are a parent, spiritual or otherwise, you can say, hey, how can I be an encouragement and an example to my children this week? So that's your challenge. There'll be more discussion questions after this, and I hope you have a great week.